Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, I felt the need to chime in on this subject. As you see from the title, apparently the Vatican says that they cannot bless gay unions because it is sin. They basically said that they can't bless what God says is sin. So there is no support of gay marriage or same-sex marriage coming from the Vatican. The Pope is apparently going according to his convictions. And so, why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because I want to see what type of response the world is going to give to this, because basically we've seen where the world or this system goes into African nations and they will sanction them and say, look, we're not going to do this for you. We're not going to give you any type of aid. We're not going to give you any type of support unless you remove the restrictions on gay marriage or same-sex marriage. And so they go hard on these African nations who have their own set of laws. Now get this, these are sovereign nations that have their own laws. But you have those from the West who will go in and sanction them or take away aid or any type of support because they do not agree with their stance on gay marriage or same-sex marriage. So I am interested in knowing how they're going to respond to this. The Almighty Catholic Church has spoken. So is there going to be a backlash for them? Or is that only for African nations that don't bend and twist their sovereign laws to please those in the West who believe that they are the police of the world or the moral authority of the world? Now, keep in mind, like I said, these African nations are sovereign nations who have their own sets of rules and laws just like everybody else. But the strong arm of the law wants to reach across the waters and tell these people how to do things in their own land. Because here in America, anything goes. I thought it was very interesting how someone pointed out that in America, they tell you that it's legal and it's righteous and it's okay for two men to marry and tangle all up in the bed together and two women to marry and tangle all up in the bed together, that there's nothing wrong with that. But if a man wants to do like our forefather Jacob did and have two wives, then he is considered immoral and a lawbreaker. How about that? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a strong advocate for polygamy or anything like that. I'm just one of those who are kind of like, I don't support it, but I can't be against it either, because the four women that our forefather Jacob had produced the 12 tribes of Israel. So I can't say that it's sinful or it's wrong or that you're going to bust hell wide open, right, for doing it. But neither do I advocate for it, because what we see happening today doesn't even resemble what our forefathers did. And even what some do in Africa today. It's a whole different flavor than what I see happening here in the U.S. What people are trying to do here in the U.S. is a total mess. Okay? So I am not an advocate for it. But I just find it interesting how you can have laws that will support two men tangled all up in the bed, two women tangled all up in the bed, doing, I can't even say God knows what. I'm going to say the devil knows what. And calling that a righteous entanglement. while telling a man that if he has 2 wives, according to biblical laws and standards, that he's immoral or that he's breaking the law. Yes, he's breaking the law of this land, but is it breaking the laws of Yah? Now, of course, we've gone deeper into this subject before, because there are certain instances where men were not allowed to have more than 1 wife. There were many instances spoken of in Scripture, and there were certain standards to go by as well. Not this foolishness that we see being pushed off as a cultural right that the men have automatically. Okay? I'm just trying to make a point here on how messed up the world system is. Okay? But when you look at the fact that the Vatican is saying, no can do, this goes against the Bible, it is sin, and therefore we cannot bless it. When I see them doing this, I expect to see some type of interference by those of the West who goes over there to Africa to interfere with their laws concerning gay marriage as well. Because basically they are doing the same thing as the Vatican. They're saying, no, we will not bless this here. It's not allowed here. We will not permit it. You will not be able to legally marry here in Africa if you're trying to marry the same sex. And so are you saying that the Vatican can go against this, but these sovereign African nations cannot? Is that what you're saying? I'm done with this video. I just wanted to chime in on this because sometimes you have to highlight the hypocrisy that goes on in this world, especially when it comes to so-called black people trying to do their thing, whether it's living in a sovereign nation, having your own sovereign laws, and someone from across the water reaching across telling you, nope, you can't do this. If you do this, then we're not going to do that. We're not going to give you this, even though a lot of the resources that they are really shipping back to Africa came from there to begin with. It sounds like some weird type of Twilight Zone that we're in, where they go and extract resources from the place, from Africa. Then they send it somewhere else to be processed. They repackage it, rebag it, and say, oh, we're going to give it to you as aid. Oh my goodness. You're giving back something that you took from there in the first place and calling it aid. This sounds like some type of sick, twisted, international joke. When you have the richest land on earth, the continent of Africa being the richest of wealth and resources and diversity of animals and beauty and all of this, but yet they live the poorest. And those who benefit from all of the resources that they take from Africa, they are ruling things, even controlling what they take from Africa and saying, look, we're not going to give you any of this as aid if you don't abide by our wishes, the laws that we think you should have. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section, okay? On this foolishness, what are your thoughts on this? The Vatican says no to gay marriage or same-sex marriage. Africa says no to it. But are we going to see the same backlash? That's what I want to know. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comment section. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, share and like this video. And with that, I'm out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel. And also comment, share, like, and subscribe.